Hello everybody, this is Kassam, and today we're going to be covering the basics of raid preparation. Now, as you can see, I've prepared some different potions, and there are alternatives to the right here. Okay, so first off we have the Healing Tonic. This is, when it's used, it restores 72,610 health. This is about 20,000 more than the Health Stone which most raids go with. And while it's not free like the Health Stone, it is incredibly cheap, so I do suggest you pick some up as soon as possible. Next up we have flasks. Now, really there is no excuse for nobody having a flask. They come in strength, agility, intellect, and basically they give you that little extra push that you're going to need in some of these fights. Now, as you can see from the screenshot, it does persist through death, so you don't have to keep replacing it all the time. But on counterbalancing this, it is fairly expensive. They're about 600 gold for a stack of 5, but no doubt that will come down once sort of the economy regains control. Okay, next up we have the Dranic Strength Potions. Again, just like the flasks, these come in different stats, agility, intellect, etc. And while they aren't cheap, they are definitely necessary for taking down some of the harder bosses, as they give you an extra cooldown and that little extra burst DPS or healing. Now, if you are working to a budget, there is a nice alternative in the Mecha Blast Rocket, at least for DPS there is. There's also a shield for the tanks, and I believe a stealth as well, but nobody will be using that. Now, what this rocket does is it is unaffected by global cooldown, meaning you can use it at any point during the fight, which makes it nice and versatile. It deals a hefty 52,000 damage, which is equivalent to a nice DPS crit, and it basically just gives you a little extra burst when you need it the most. Now, between the rocket and the strength potion has to win over every time. It gives you a large sustained increase in strength or your chosen stat for 25 seconds, which will work nicely with heroism and your other cooldowns, as opposed to just one big hit. Now, I'm going to take you through some of my enchants. Bear in mind, until the economy works out, or a lot more gold becomes available to everyone in the guild, you won't be able to fully enchant your gear at the moment, unless you are an enchanter yourself, and you put a lot of grinding into it. With that said, however, I have gone ahead and enchanted some of my items. As you can see in my cloak, I have plus 100 critical strike and plus 10 speed. This will just get me out of those tricky situations and give me a little bit more DPS. On my weapon, I've gone for Mark of the Shattered Hand, and while this is not the best DPS melee enchant, it is the cheapest at 600 gold on the auction house, as opposed to 10k as some of them. On my 680 ring, which everybody should have, I've also enchanted plus 50 critical strike. Again, this will just give me a nice little burst, and I shouldn't need to replace this item for a good long while, so that's why I've gone to enchant it now. And that is Raid Prep 101. If anyone has any questions, please feel free to contact either myself or Rod in the guild, or leave a comment below and I'll do my best to answer. Thank you very much.